Los Angeles, California is a place that people have flocked to for cooler weather, Hollywood, business opportunity, and for a slice of the American dream for over 100 years now. And with that influx of people, the city has grown into a place where they have a real population problem on their hands with nearly 4 million residents across LA as of the last report. With a heavy concentration of celebrities and high net worth individuals, the mega mansion has become more and more common around LA, and developers continue to push the envelope, building bigger and bigger homes in infill neighborhoods, taking advantage of the lenient zoning laws that exist out there. See, even out here in Arizona, you see a similar trend happening, like this massive 3,500 square foot house that's built in a neighborhood full of much smaller ranch-style homes. But even though I hate to see these charming old houses dwarfed by these big white boxes, I kind of understand why developers are doing everything they can to maximize square footage on these lots and build as wide and as tall as possible. Arizona is just seeing the beginning of this boom where developers are building big and maximizing the size of these lots, but LA has been at it for decades now. Plus, there's just a lot more people in LA who have a ton of money. So what we're seeing now is more and more homes being built with way more square footage than the average family actually needs. This shows exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm on Redfin right now. I've got the filter set to Los Angeles homes for sale that are 10,000 square feet or greater. And look at this. So we have 98 homes right now for sale at 10,000 square feet or greater across LA. And if you take a closer look at this list here, you see pretty quick, there's like 50 or 60 of these houses that are actually 20,000 square feet or greater. A lot of times people are building big mega mansions for themselves to live in, and you see a lot of these homes trading hands often in the 20, 30, 50, or even $100 million price range. But another trend has been developers building mega mansions on spec, which is a super high risk, high reward business. I mean, check this place out for example. So we're in Phoenix, they're building a house here, 4,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. I pulled up the public records, and the developer of this one paid $1.25 million for this deal about 2 years ago. It costs about $350 per square foot to build out here, which means that when all is said and done, including holding costs and all of that, they're gonna have about $3 million into this deal in total. What's crazy though is that even with the market being a little bit weird like it is right now, homes in this area are still selling around $850 per square foot, which puts the value of this house at about $3.8 million once they're finished. That means that after this developer sells this house, pays their commissions and all of that, they stand to make like $500,000 or $600,000 on this deal. Making this much money building a house sounds awesome, and it is, but this is where the developers get a little bit greedy, because when you realize that you can build a house for about $350 per square foot, and then you can sell that same house for $800 plus per square foot, then why not build as big of a house as the city will allow you to when you're making that much of a premium on every single square foot that you add to that house? This math is exactly why we've been seeing developers pushing the boundaries with mega mansions around LA for so long. Because yeah, out in Arizona, you might make $1 million or $2 million on a new build, but out in LA, the profit stands to be 10 million, 20 million, or even more on a single deal. We're seeing homes in California being built with 50,000 square feet. Heck, Niall Niami's house, the one, was 105,000 square feet, and they have got away with building these monster homes for a while, but LA and the residents around LA are doing everything that they can to put a stop to this trend. Plus, what's even crazier is that a lot of the time, the developers aren't making any money on these deals. You often see these stories end in bankruptcy where the developer nearly loses their shirt when they shot for the moon with these builds. There have been these anti-mansionization measures being talked about in Los Angeles for a long time now. As far as I can tell, it's been going on for about 15 years or so. But up until now, there hasn't really been anything put in place to put a stop to these mega mansion developers. We did have the LA mayor sign an anti-mansionization ordinance back in 2008, which restricted the building envelope of new homes in a lot of the older neighborhoods, but this rule only ended up going into effect for about 300,000 of the lots in the flatlands. In 2016, city officials tried to put rules in place place to limit the mansions that seemed out of scale in Bel Air, but this one only went into effect in Bel Air's Beverly Crest neighborhood, which for one was already out of control with redevelopment. All that this rule said was that any mansion being built over 20,000 square feet just needed to go through a separate review process. By 2020, developers had found a way around the 2008 mansionization rules with a zoning loophole where they figured out that they could buy up duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes, tear them down, and then rebuild new massive single-family homes in their place. And in 2022, Los Angeles City voters approved a mansion tax, or ULA tax as they call it. This one goes into effect April of 2023, and it establishes a 4% tax on properties that sell valued at $5 to $10 million, and then a 5.5% tax on property sales over $10 million. I'm sure this new tax is a sting to the luxury real estate developers in LA, but let's face it, when their profit margin ranges from 20 to 30% on the average spec build, they can afford to cough up an extra 5.5% on tax. I've got mixed feelings on the matter here, guys, because on one hand, I'm a real estate developer myself, and I fully support real estate developers going in and improving neighborhoods. But on the other hand, just like that neighborhood that we were looking at in the start of the video, I understand neighbors who are getting frustrated when somebody buys an old property, tears it down, and then builds a mansion in its place that's out of scale for the neighborhood. Time will tell if Los Angeles ever puts anything in place that fully puts a stop to these massive mega mansions being built, but in the meantime, I'm sure we're going to see developers finding ways to capitalize on the market in every way they can. I'll see you guys next time.